everybody, it's Hexa, and in today's video we are going to be talking about periods. It is 2017. It is definitely time for periods to stop being an embarrassing or taboo topic to talk about, and I just wanted to be part of the women who are fighting the stigma about periods. So today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite tips to make your period a little bit more bearable and a little bit easier. I want this video to be as inclusive as possible, so regardless of whether you are a cisgender woman, gender neutral, queer, or a trans man, I hope that you can find some tips in here that will help you out. And please know that my channel is a safe space for all sexualities and all gender orientations, because that's what nice people do. Nice people are inclusive and we don't discriminate. So this video is for anybody who has a vagina that bleeds every month, and even if you don't have a vagina that bleeds every month, I'm sure that you know somebody who does. So please feel free to watch this video anyways and share these tips with a friend, daughter, girlfriend, or partner, or anybody. Okay, so let's get into it. Tip number one is to always have some period supplies with you in your bag. Periods can be super unpredictable. Sometimes they come early, sometimes they come late, and sometimes life just gets busy and crazy and you just forget that you are supposed to be getting your period soon. So it's really nice to just always be prepared in case anything happens. And then even if you don't end up needing your emergency supplies, you might have a friend or a coworker who does, so it's nice to be the person who can always help out and be prepared for any bloody situation. Number two is to wear panty liners. I love panty liners just because they keep your undies clean and dry any time of the month, but especially if you are approaching that time of the month but you're not really sure when it's going to start, it's nice to wear a panty liner because that can just really catch those first initial unexpected drops of blood to avoid ruining any pretty underwear. Number three is to wear black and wear layers. So obviously if you happen to leak, then the blood will show up the least on black or on other dark colors, and then if you wear a lot of layers, then there's kind of just more layers of clothing for the leak to go through, so that hopefully on your external layer of clothing, your most outside layer, it will show up only a little bit or just not that badly. If you like to wear dresses, what I like to do is to wear a short pair of pants or some leggings underneath a long dress, and then you can also bring a scarf along just kind of as an emergency concealing the leak option. So like, you know, if you do happen to leak through all those layers of clothes, you can just wrap it around your waist or wear it somehow so that it covers up the stain. If you don't wear dresses, then you can bring along an extra shirt and maybe tie a hoodie around your waist, and that will also be great for protecting you from leaks that show through all of your clothing. Funny little story, last year I had a teaching job working with kids aged 3 to 6, and on my very first day of work, I leaked through all of my clothes and I had blood on my pants and on my dress that was over my pants, and fortunately I was wearing actually the exact outfit that I'm wearing in this video and it did not show up too badly, so there you go. It's a really unpleasant situation, but it happens to everybody and you're gonna survive this. You're gonna be okay. Number four is do not consume cold things. I do not care how much you are craving that ice cream. Eating or drinking anything really cold is going to be terrible for you. Around that time of the month, you really want to keep nice and warm to make sure that you don't disturb your reproductive organs in any way. So generally around that time of the month, I would definitely recommend that you stick to warm meals and beverages. Number five is also related to that. It's just to keep warm in general. So there have been a few times in my life when my period came like full force and I spent the entire first day of my period vomiting, fainting, and being in so much intense pain that I couldn't even sit up in bed to take a painkiller. I was in that much pain, and like to go to the bathroom, I had to literally crawl on the floor to get there because I was just in so much agonizing pain. And there is definitely correlation between being in a cold classroom the previous day and feeling that bad when I was on my period. So definitely if you work or go to school in an environment where there's always really cold air conditioning on, please bring a few extra layers and keep nice and warm, especially in your tummy area. It will save you a lot of grief and pain, I promise. Number 6 is heating pads. So in China, we have these things called 暖宝宝, and they are essentially just these thin, flat packets, and they have like a peel off sticker just like pads do, and you peel off the sticker and then you can stick the pad on the inside of your clothing and it heats up by itself. So as soon as it comes into contact with your skin, it warms up within like 1 to 2 minutes, and it actually gets up to a pretty decent temperature. They're super discreet, you can't even see them through clothing, and actually if you follow gymnastics, I have seen Chinese gymnasts stick these to their legs after their routines to help relax their muscles. Unfortunately, I don't know if these types of heating pads are available in other countries, and if they're not, if you cannot find something similar, then a good old-fashioned hot water bottle will do just fine as well. Again, it's all about just keeping warm and comfy. You will feel so much better. It'll just help relax all of your muscles and relieve your cramps. Number 7 is to wear socks. So you also lose a lot of your body temperature through your feet. So if your feet are feeling cold, then it's very likely that that cold feeling is going to travel through your entire body and really just deprive you of your warmth and your inner resources. So during that time of the month, it is always a good idea to just put on a pair of fuzzy socks and keep your toes nice and toasty. Number 8 is to use the Clue app. I have recently started using it and I am really loving it. It helps you to track all of your reproductive health related habits and all of your like moods and pains and periods and everything like that. So you know, you log when you took your birth control, when you had sex, how heavy your bleeding is, whether you have headaches or cramps or cravings, all kinds of stuff. You can track everything in there. So this is really great because it just helps you to record your monthly cycle and it helps you get a better idea of what your own personal cycle is like. Obviously, on average, it's 28 days, but some cycles are shorter and others are longer. So the app will help you to remember when your period is coming up, and it also helps you to recognize which symptoms go along with your period and with your cycle during different times of the month. A feature that it has that I really like is that it gives you the option of actually sharing your information with a friend or a partner. So this is really great if you want to give your girlfriend or boyfriend a little heads up that you're gonna be extra cranky this week. But you don't need to worry about it. It only tells them like which phase of your cycle you are in. It doesn't tell them like every single detail of everything you track, because I was kind of concerned that it was going to tell my boyfriend every time I had explosive diarrhea. It doesn't do that. You're good. Okay, my card just filled up, so I had to go empty it out and format it, but I am back with tip number 9. So number 9 is to supplement iron. Losing blood means that you are also losing iron, and if you're feeling particularly dizzy, tired, lightheaded, and headachy during your period, that might be because of an iron deficiency. So for anyone really, I would say that it is a good idea to take some iron supplements at least 3 days before your period starts and during your period. And if you still continue to feel like you're feeling really dizzy and uncomfortable during your period, you might want to go to your GP and ask if they can check you for an iron deficiency. My neighbor's workers are starting to hammer the walls again, so I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. Number 10 is to take a painkiller in advance. So if your period is really regular and you always know when it's about to start soon, you can feel free to take a painkiller before the actual bleeding starts. I feel like this can just help to take the edge off and prevent you from just being hit full force with all the cramps and all of the discomfort. Number 10 is skipping or delaying your periods. So apparently a lot of women don't know this, but if you're taking hormonal birth control, like the pill, then you can actually use that to delay your periods or to skip them entirely. So if you have like a holiday coming up or prom or just some kind of event when you don't want to be bleeding, you can actually take your pills without leaving the 1 week break for your period, and it'll help you to delay your period or to skip it entirely. The period that I just started, and that is actually happening right now as we speak, actually is my first period in 4 months. So in 2015, I was diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia that was quite severe, and taking iron supplements wasn't really helping. So when I went on the pill, I actually did some research into this, and I found out that according to lots of articles and studies, there are no negative side effects of skipping your periods using your hormonal birth control. So I actually started to let my periods happen only once every 3 months. I found that by the time I get to month number 4, I will start to get cramps and breakthrough bleeding. So for me, 3 months without periods is like the golden number. And once I started doing that, my iron deficiency actually got a little bit better. So for me, it really helped. And also, like, if you're a performer or if you travel a lot or anything like that, this can definitely come in handy just to prevent you from having to go through your period at a time when it's super, super inconvenient. Despite the fact that studies haven't really found any severe side effects of doing this, a lot of gynecologists don't really tell their patients that this is an option. But of course, I am not a doctor, and I would recommend that you do talk to your doctor before you consider doing this, and also do your own research, because knowledge is power, and it is good to just do some extra research into it and don't just take my word for it alone. Look into it yourself and see if it is the right fit for you to do this. Number 12 is to try menstrual cups. So I actually have a Diva cup. I haven't completely figured it out yet. I feel like usually it ends up leaking a little bit on me, so I don't know, maybe I'm not putting it in right, or it's not the right size or shape for my body, but I am still a huge supporter of menstrual cups, and I'm definitely going to try out a few different cups or just keep trying to use my Diva cup until I figure it out. So menstrual cups are great for a lot of reasons. First of all, you can wear them for 12 hours without removing them or emptying them. They are incredibly cost efficient and eco-friendly because you can essentially use a menstrual cup for your entire life. They do recommend that you replace it every like 10 years or so, but generally if you keep it in good conditions and you take good care of it, it can last you your entire lifetime. They cost about $30, I think. And that's definitely very good for your budget and very good for the environment, because it's just this one little piece of silicone compared to just tons and tons and tons of pads or tampons that are disposed of every single year. Probably the most important benefit of menstrual cups, however, is that they do not carry the risk of toxic shock syndrome. Hey guys, I just wanted to hop in quickly and say that I did a little bit more research after I filmed this, and apparently you can actually get toxic shock syndrome with a menstrual cup as well. There was one reported case of a woman who got it after accidentally scratching the inside of her vagina when she was inserting the Diva cup. However, there are a lot of sources that say that you can reduce your toxic shock syndrome risk by switching to a menstrual cup. Although it doesn't completely eliminate the risk, it does reduce it. So generally tampons are more high risk for toxic shock syndrome than menstrual cups. So sorry about the false statement at the beginning of this, but I do go into this a little bit more. Some sites say that there's no risk of toxic shock syndrome, and other ones say there is a lowered risk. So it's a little bit difficult to really tell which is the truth, but there does appear to be a risk of toxic shock syndrome either way whenever you are inserting things into your vagina. And apparently toxic shock syndrome is not just like a tampons thing, men can get it as well. It's caused by a specific type of bacteria, and tampons are not the only way in which you can get toxic shock syndrome, but anyways, moving on from that, just wanted to like make this quick little insert in here and make sure that I'm not giving you guys false information. So thank you very much. Apologies for the mix-up. Different websites have different statements regarding this, but some of them say that there is no risk of toxic shock syndrome, and others say that there is a very, very reduced risk compared to tampons. So if you don't know what toxic shock syndrome is, which apparently, very, very surprisingly, a lot of women have no idea what this is, but sometimes if you use tampons and they're left in for too long, they can actually cause a really, really severe infection. I think it's a form of sepsis, but I'm not sure. Essentially, the symptoms will start off with something like fever and vomiting, but actually, if you don't get treatment for it really, really quickly, it can end up with you having to get a leg amputated or even killing you. So please, if you do use tampons, look up toxic shock syndrome. Make sure you're educated about it and you know the signs and symptoms of it, because it is incredibly dangerous. It can kill you, like I said. And a lot of women apparently have no idea what this is. They don't know how to recognize the signs of it. So yeah, definitely go look it up. But yeah, menstrual cups are great because they don't actually have the risk of toxic shock syndrome, again, depending on which source you look at. And again, a last benefit of them is that they do not contain the bleaches and the harsh and sometimes carcinogenic chemicals that are contained in pads and tampons. So generally, I'm a supporter of menstrual cups because they're good for your budget, good for your body, and good for the environment. That's really all you need in a period control product. To me, that's really all you need in a period product, and yeah, I will always be a huge supporter of them. And if it doesn't work out for you, which of course no one form of period management is going to be perfect for every single person, but if it doesn't work out for you, it's only like $30 that you lost, and if it does work out for you, then it could become your new best friend. So there we go. All right, and now my last tip is to just look out for your overall health. So during your period, you're feeling quite tired, your body is a little bit weakened, your immune system is compromised, it's easy to get sick, it's easy to just not feel good. So now more than ever, it's good to make sure that you stay hydrated, that you sleep enough, that you eat really healthy. You can look up period power foods, because there definitely are some foods that are really good for you on your period and other foods that are really bad for you. So yeah, period power foods, superfoods, whatever they're called, look them up. And although you definitely don't want to be exercising on your period, I'm sure nobody likes to exercise when they're on their period. It's actually quite good for you to do so. So if you don't want to actually like go out running or go to the gym, I would recommend doing some yoga. I recently tried Yoga with Adrienne's video for period yoga. I'll leave the link down in the description box below. Yoga with Adrienne is just amazing. I really, really love her. She's super kind and gentle and beginners friendly, and I really, really love her channel. She is the only yoga channel that I watch, and I just love her videos and her personality and everything about her in general. She is great. So that was it for my period tips and advice. I hope you found something in here that will be useful for you. And even though I'm sure you're feeling super sick and drained and tired of everything and everyone, that is a perfect excuse to take some time off to pamper yourself, do a face mask, take a bubble bath, watch a nice movie or something, and just take some extra care of yourself and take that time to relax and wind down and treat yourself nice. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat for more, and you can donate to my Patreon down below to support me and my channel. Again, I hope this video helped you out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!